Well, I think the strategy is to continue putting pressure on Iran in the, and that so that the regime has a harder and harder time in pursuing its ambitious regional foreign policy while providing for the economic needs of the Iranian people. And it comes down to the sense of people in the Trump administration that the problem with the JCPOA was less that there was a deal with Iran, but that the terms of the JCPOA were not strong enough, and in particular left Iran's regional behavior essentially off the table. And for not only for the United States, but for many countries in the region, and not just Israel, but many Arab countries, Iran's policies and regional expansion was actually a bigger issue than the nuclear issue. So what I think we can see at bottom is the Trump administration trying to create incentives and create a framework where either this Iranian government or successor government would be willing to enter an actual comprehensive approach where they stop trying to rule Iraq, stop trying to rule Syria, stop trying to hold Lebanon, expand in Yemen, et cetera, but some kind of regional detente connected also to a nuclear weapons settlement. Now that, it's clear that the Iranians don't want to do that. But it's also clear that the economics of their situation are getting worse and worse. I think at the moment, the Iranian strategy is to wait in November in hopes that Trump will not be reelected. If Biden is elected, it'll be interesting to see what he does. He's already said he doesn't think you can just go back to the JCPOA. To some degree, it's dead. But if Trump is reelected, then I think we get into a kind of an end game here, where the Iranians now look at an indefinite continuation of this kind of policy. The coronavirus has severely weakened Iran, both because of the effects of the virus in Iran and the effects of the virus on the oil price, further reducing the very small amount of money they're able to make. And it's also interesting that when Russia launched its price war against Saudi Arabia, it was throwing Iran under the bus, as we say in the U.S. That is, it was Iran would be an enormous victim of the oil price crash that Russia unleashed when it decided to open the price war against Saudi Arabia, and Russia didn't care. That is China, by the way, has also been steadily reducing its economic relationship with Iran. So where all this is headed, it's impossible to say. But I think if you were to talk to people in the State Department, in the White House, and so on, they would say that while the end is not in sight, the strategy is accomplishing much of what they hoped it would accomplish, and they don't see much reason to change what they're doing.